Okay, hello. Well, welcome. We're at the Ashland workshop, and normally I do these recorded, sort of, and then like cut it up and post it. But we're gonna try to do one live today. I want to show you some of the stuff we're shipping out. We had a lot of support from you guys on the blue leather stuff that we did this week, and that was really meaningful for me. Just really nice to have you guys supporting us like that. It's pretty overwhelming response, so really appreciate that. And I haven't had a chance to really come on here live and talk about the private stock stuff we did a couple weeks ago, and that's because I've been tied up being a new dad. But the response we got on the private stock is really encouraging, and it's you know, when you support something like that, I hear you, and it gives us, you know, an opportunity and the resources to do more of that. And it's nice to know that you guys are really excited about that, because I'm really excited about it too. All right, so let me rotate you around, and we can take a look at what's shipping. So hey everybody, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that we're shipping out today. And this is a blue wallet that we had from a blue collection that I released earlier this week. And the response on that has been really incredible. And again, thank you guys so much for supporting us, and it allows me to do more things like this. But let's look at this Fat Herbie here. This is one of the ones that sold out. It's a really cool piece of denim blue shell on the exterior here, and you might not be familiar with the denim blue, but it's much more of a vibrant kind of a aqua blue shade when compared to like the navy shell or the intense blue shells. So that's why we like it for a small leather good. And you kind of want it to start this aqua blue shade on a small leather good, because there's no room for it to get lighter. Usually somebody from the footwear industry, you might take a darker navy shell or intense blue and sort of wrap it and form it around a last that will give you a lighter undertone, so more of those vivid tones come through on the intense blue shell. But on a small leather good, you don't really have an opportunity to last it and sort of form it around a mold. And that's again why we like this for small leather goods. I'm trying to move all of our blue shell to this denim blue color, which I really like. I like this a lot, and I also like the raw denim that I'll show you in a second. But what's extra special about this one, we had a customer that was particularly interested. And Tom, if you check this out, this is your wallet. This is for a fan of peacocks. Tom is a big peacock fan, and he noticed the color kind of reminded him of the color of peacocks, with the aqua blue on the outside, that denim blue shade, and then this more green shade on the inside. And I thought it would be nice, a little bit nicer, a little bit more special for Tom to hand glaze the interior here, so you get that nice little sheen. And this is the way that the reverse shell kind of naturally wears in. And we're just expediting the process a little bit, just polishing in and finishing in that reverse side of the shell. So this one's really special, and these are sold out. I do have some full denim blue shell Herbies still available, but that's a really nice piece. Let's see what we got next. Oh, this one is really neat. So this is a marbled color 8 shell Capone, and check that out. I really like the marbled 8, and I know a lot of people, maybe it's because it's more novel, but a lot of people have been asking us for the marbled cigar. And you can see on the left side here, this is where the cigar marbled and the marbled color 8 sort of differentiate. You get a little bit more of these burgundy tones on the left side there on the marbled color 8, where the marbled cigar is much less of that purple sort of reddish color. It's a little bit more like this for the marbled cigar. So it's pretty similar, and which is interesting that people are so into the marbled cigar over the marbled color 8. I like them both very much. Actually, for me, I kind of prefer the marbled color 8, but you know, to each their own. And this is just spectacular marbling on this piece, with a range from the orangey tans to the more brown, and on the left here it's a little bit more burgundy. Let's take a look. This is also what blew me away. This is marbled color 8 also. Sorry, I have to like turn my head around here to be able to see my screen of what I'm doing. I didn't really think that through. But these might look like natural shell on the left and right here, but these are actually marbled color 8 also. And they're the more light sections of the shell in that marbled shell. So this is the lightest a marbled color 8 will go, and then this is sort of the darkest it will go, and all the colors in between. I really like how this one turned out on that Capone. I've actually been wearing a Capone myself for the last 6 or 7 months. Really enjoying that wallet. Take a look here. This is a Johnny the Fox. It's our best-selling wallet, and this is in the all reverse black shell, and it doesn't look black at all. I know it's quite confusing, but the reverse side of the black shell cordovan is that green color. So if you look in the bill slot here, this is actually the black shell right here. If you flip that around, the reverse sides are this sort of like greenish tan shade. And I've always thought this looked really cool. It also gives us an opportunity to show off the ink stamp, which I really like. So a bunch of years ago, I noticed the shells had this interesting look, and it's all random. So I thought, why not make some wallets out of the unintended side? And I'm pretty happy with how they're turning out. This particular color on the Johnny the Fox is our most requested, like, not stocked item. So a lot of people have been picking these up, and I think they've been turning out really well. We also try to cut the ink stamp into the center there, and then the left and right of these card slots. This is also black reverse, but this is a good opportunity here for me to show you the color range that we expect to see on all the reverse shell. So it's like a little bit darker on the top, and then it kind of fades a little bit lighter on the bottom on the right side, and you can see a little bit more green, a little tan on the left. So I like seeing a lot of that natural range. It's very much random, which I think makes it extra special. And it kind of looks like, if we go back to this Herbie, this is the reverse denim. It kind of looks similar, but you'll notice this particular reverse denim doesn't have much blue to it, but you'll notice they're pretty similar to the black reverse. So that's why I don't really advertise that we do a blue reverse very often, unless we have just absolutely crazy dye marks on it. Let's see here. Oh, here's another Johnny the Fox. So this one is in natural chrome excel. And what's really neat about this one, I don't know what it is, but this is one of the more sleek looking wallets that we do. There's something really magical about the natural chrome excel on these Johnny the Foxes. And I think it's the matching interior and exterior. That's the right word? But there's something magical about this sheen, the luster in this chrome excel. I think it's really, really cool. And then that, again, that matching interior just sort of sets it over the top. Our team does a really, really nice job on all the edges. Everything we do is waxed and burnished. We've been doing some stained, waxed and burnished edges for the 100% shell cordovan Johnny the Foxes, but I'm really happy with how our edges are going over. And this is, again, I think one of our cleaner looking wallets. Here's another one in natural chrome excel, but this is the Bugs Moran. This is a little bit more minimalist, more of like a front pocket card holder. I love the form factor on this guy. I just think it fits perfectly in your hand. And what's really neat about it, even though it's so small, it packs a big punch because you can put a bunch of cards on the inside as well as folded cash on these larger 2 slots. So this slot right here, you can actually fold dollars, US dollars, in half, and it will fit very nicely in there and still give you that perfect handheld form factor, and it fits really, really well in a front pocket. So I've been enjoying the Bugs Moran, and we've recently started doing vertical oriented card holders. So instead of your cards going in the left and right, you can actually drop them in through the top. The vertical card slots, we're actually just doing by special order only, made to order, which is no problem. We can absolutely do it. We did a pre-order special for a couple selected colors on the vertical card slot Bugs Moran. I think all of those are shipped out now, but if you want something with a vertical alignment, we can absolutely do it. Here's a special piece for David, and this is an irregular Tony the Ant in one of my favorite shell colors ever. This is actually the color 4 shell, and this one is a little bit more red at some angles than most of the color 4 I see. It's a little darker. I might just be misremembering. But the color 4 is really beautiful. It's sort of a medium brown with reddish undertones. And then some angles, a little bit more of these like caramel shades come out, which I think is really, really neat. So for a bunch of years, the color 4 shell here was my favorite shell color. And now it's number 2. I just love the amaretto too much. I just think that like vibrant orangey tan shade in the amaretto is really special, but the color 4 it's you know, a classic. This is actually the owner for Horween Leather, his favorite shell color also, for what it's worth. But it kind of doesn't matter. It's like whatever you like is what the best is. But this one is going to David. And I did an interview with David in December, which is not released yet. But you can look forward to a chat with him. He has a YouTube channel called The Vintage Future, where they do a lot of boot reviews and clothing reviews and just chatting about boots and stuff. That channel is definitely worth checking out. This one's going to David at The Vintage Future. So check out Vintage Future on YouTube. I enjoy his channel personally. I've learned a lot about shoes from him. But this one's heading his way. And we got 3 more wallets to show you. And David actually sent me a few laces that I'd like to get your opinion on. Maybe we can put it to these Vibrux behind me here. But the next one here is another Johnny the Fox. Again, Johnny the Fox is a best-selling wallet. I think that's because people see this style and they imagine that this is the wallet that they would imagine when they hear the word wallet. It's very much a traditional and sort of classic style. And we're making it even more classic on this guy on the outside because we have the color 8 shell on the exterior. And check out that luster. Really sweet luster on this particular piece of shell. And we sort of made it like a mullet wallet. We're sort of business on the outside and like a party on the inside. Check this out. This is another reverse interior, but this is a color 8 reverse. And this particular one has incredible dye splatter on that bottom right and on the left. This like more pooled look right here. That is a really sweet Johnny the Fox. Looks like we got a Horween ink stamp in the bill slot here also. So that one's really cool. We do those by special request. I think we've done some small batches of those in the past. And here's another wallet that's surprisingly popular to me. I guess I'm not much of a minimalist. I'm like more of a maximalist. I love the Fat Herbie. But many people have been picking up the Frank the Enforcer, and in particular in the black shell kind of recently. People are really into this guy, and I think it's because it's just so minimalist, and maybe with the pandemic, there's not much use to have a lot of cash. So I think people are moving a little bit more minimalist and a little less cash, a little more cash free, you could say, in the pandemic. And there's something about the black shell that I've been talking about in these videos for a year now. There's something really magical and sleek about the black shell cordovan. I just love how the light bounces off of it. Anyways, on the front of it, there are 2 card slots. You can fit cards on the front, and there's also 1 card slot on the back. The interesting thing about this guy is this larger slot in the center here. You can actually fit, again, US dollars folded in half. So if you do want to carry just a couple bills, you can put it in the top here. Something interesting to observe about all the wallets that I do is there's sort of a zero-sum game between the amount of cards that you can put in the wallet versus the amount of cash. So if you have a ton of credit cards on a Tony the Ant, for example, and you really load this guy up on the inside, I've noticed that it's a little harder to hold more cash on the outside. So that's where the zero sum I'm talking about is. If you have a lot of cards and a lot of cash, I recommend the Fat Herbie. Something like this, the more cards you put in here, the harder it's going to be to put cash on the inside slot. And actually the original design for this was a little tighter and more narrow. We sort of shrunk it in because I wanted the smallest form factor possible. But when that was that small and you put more than 1 card in each slot, it's like it expanded it out this way, and it made it really hard to fit cash in the center. So we modified it a little bit to make it just right. And again, just super nice edge work from the team here. And let's take a look at the last guy. This is another blue piece, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier. This is the raw denim, and we did some raw denim foxes in the small batch stuff this week, and those sold out first. Other than the private stock Frank the Enforcer we did, I think people are really into the raw denim. I actually had a phone call with Skip Horween yesterday, and he's encouraged to see how many people are into the raw shells. So he's going to try to make us some more, so we can make more of those Johnny the Foxes. A lot of people have been interested in it. So we have the raw denim. I like the raw shells in general, in every color that I've seen, for a couple reasons. So if you're looking for patina, all the raw shells will give you the most potential to develop a really dramatic patina. And here's what that means. That means 2 things in my mind. it's going to develop in luster. So you can see it's a little bit dull to start here. It has a nice little sheen to it, but it's not nearly as bright and shiny as David's Tony the Ant here. And I see it in the chat there, David. Thanks for coming to hang out. This is your Tony, and it's beautiful. Actually, this one's an irregular, but I don't know. Our irregulars are pretty nice. Anyways, with the raw denim, you're going to see that luster change. Starts off dull, gets bright and shiny. The other thing that changes is the color deepens and darkens, especially on something like the raw natural, where you have a lot of room to get darker. It starts to get a little bit more golden brown just with normal use. And I just love the experience of something changing with my personal style. It's the same way that your raw denim might wear in. That's how I feel about all the veg tan leathers just generally, but the raw shells in particular have the best patina development that I have seen. So I think it's really special for that reason. So raw denim is really cool. Got raw natural. There's we've done some raw amaretto. We said raw ultraviolet was really, really neat. So actually the other thing is I've never seen a raw color 8. And that was actually why I called Skip yesterday. I asked him to make me some raw color 8. And I think that would look pretty cool too. So I just dropped on the table here an interesting piece. I thought this would be an interesting topic. And this is a piece of marbled shell cordovan. This actually is marbled blue shell. And I think most people that are familiar with the marbled shells might have guessed that this was marbled black. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today, is the marbling on the darker colors all kind of turn out pretty similar. It's really hard for me to get something more differentiated than the marbled black and the marbled color 8. To me, those are the two categories that all the marbling sort of starts to end up at. But you can see a little bit more blue in the darker sections of the marbling here. And let me see if I can do a better example showing you what I'm talking about. So take a look inside all that marbling pattern. It does appear a little bit more blue and a little bit more green, like a lighter green when compared to the marbled black. And I don't know if it's worth doing. I guess the reason I talk about it. And let me see if I can try to prove to you how I know that it's marbled blue. If you look on the back here, this is the part of the shell that the operators actually have to hold on to during the marbling process. So they're holding their hands here and putting it through a machine this direction. So on all the shells that are marbled, you'll see this little strip along the top. And it's delineated by this mark here. You can kind of see where it was shaved and marbled one direction here and then marbled the other direction there. But if you look closely down the spine of this, you can see it's more blue up here. And that's the color that this started as before they scraped away those layers of color. And I think that's really cool. So that's the marbled blue shell. And again, I think the point of this is, you know, there's really, in my mind, only two marbled colors to be appreciative of, I suppose. The marbled black and the marbled color 8. Although, again, like, people are really into the marbled cigar. So maybe there's something to be said for that. But let's move on to one more topic here. So this is my natural shell fiber plain toe. I'm not sure if they actually make this as like something they offer. But I've been wearing them pretty hard. I barely polish these. In fact, every time I've polished these or done anything to them, I've documented it on the YouTube channel here. But I noticed over the last couple months, and this was the topic that Dale and I covered in that interview from last week, is laces. So take a look. These are the stock round laces that Vibric has. And you can see I'm just shredding it. And it bums me out, and it happens on everything that I've experienced. I tend to get this like shredded lace look because of the speed hooks. I think it's grabbing an edge of the hook and sort of fraying out the material. And it's almost like this particular lace has like a sheath around it. So it's starting to separate out here. Look at this. This thing is just like, it's going to rip any second. And then it's kind of bunching up It's like there's this little covering that kind of I can like separate out here. So that's interesting. David actually sent me some laces, and again, the vintage feature in the chat here. I see you. I can't really read what you guys are writing, but I can see the names. David sent me some laces. So I've got this pile of laces here. I was wondering if you guys can help me choose which to pick. These look like some flat laces that might be a little too thick for those particular boots. These are a little bit brighter. I think these were the other pair of laces that Viberg sent with these boots. And I like the way that they look. They have like a little bit more of a luster to them, which I kind of like. I actually think they look really nice. So if you weren't here, I probably would have chose those. But there's also these 3 from Guarded Goods that, again, that David from Vintage Futures sent me. And this is not the first time that Guarded Goods has been suggested for laces in my direction. And I put a pair of green laces on my brown Chrome Excel Indie boots that I really enjoy how those look. I'm wondering if I should try one of these on these natural shells. I think the green might be a little too loud, but that looks pretty cool. And these are flat. These are flat laces. Excuse me. The brown ones are flat. These are more round. So I've got a round brown and a round green. Do they show here? Focus. So these are the round brown and green. And then there's this flat brown, which I kind of like the flat ones. And then I've also got these flat ones. I think these are from Alden or something. I'm not sure what these are. David may have sent these too. And then here's the other ones that I think Viberg sent with the original pair here. Look at that luster. It's pretty cool. So my thought, I like the green. Yeah, maybe I should try that. I like the green, and I like that they're round. I wonder if on the speed hooks that these flat waxed are just going to get caught and just ripped apart. So I'm kind of not, I'm kind of leaning away from the flat. But what do you guys think? Give me some votes there, and we'll flip the camera back around and drink some coffee, and then I got to go say hi to a baby. Thank you guys so much, and appreciate you being here, spending some time with me. We'll be back again on Monday, I hope. So until then, I'll hope you guys have a good weekend, and take care.